Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP made some really questionable choices. Let's begin. My girlfriend and my soon-to-be ex-wife, posted by Reddit user FlowDirt.
Throwaway account because my wife uses Reddit. Essentially what the title says. Found out she fucked an old coworker 3.5 months ago. She doesn't know I know. I found out by snooping on her phone one night when she fell asleep before me and the messages were all there. From what I could tell, it looks like they only had sex maybe a few times, but I don't know. Last week I snooped again and found out they have plans to do it again this Friday when she's going out of town on a work trip. Originally, I was completely disgusted and absolutely heartbroken. I couldn't sleep because of the images in my head. I started drinking more and smoking a lot of weed to take my mind off of it, which has kinda helped but not enough. Life was hard initially, but things have been better since Hannah and I hit it off. Who's Hannah? Well, she's my new girlfriend. After I found out, I started working more. I wanted to build up a mountain of overtime money so I could plan my next move, whatever it was. Anyway, she recently started working in the same area as me about 8 months ago. With me working more, I was able to spend more time around her. She's gorgeous to say the least. Objectively better looking than my wife. We started talking daily and I told her about the situation with my wife. She was really supportive and caring for me. One night, wife was on a work trip. After our shift, I asked her to grab a drink with me, which she said yes. After a few hours, we ended up at her place and we fucked all night long. The next morning I held her in bed and talked for a few hours. I really started to like this girl and wondered where this could go. That day I ended up going home and picked up my wife at the airport. She didn't expect a thing and carried on like usual. Hannah and I talked the next day about what happened. I told her I really enjoyed our time, which she excitedly responded that she felt the same. We agreed to keep it under the radar and also only talk when we are at work to avoid my wife finding out. So far it's worked and she hasn't suspected a thing. It's been 3 weeks since that talk and every day after work we have sex in my car in a parking lot. I want to keep this going as long as I can. I fucking hate my wife for what she did and I just want to inflict as much pain as possible. It should be easy to, as my wife is too infatuated with her new boy toy to take notice of anything. I know eventually, however, I need to come clean and divorce my wife. I'm just hurt. But anyway, fuck that bitch. Edit. I have screenshots of the text since I found out. Should have included that. I just need to find a lawyer and start the process. Update. So I wanted to post an update for you guys. To start, I'm an asshole. But what you all said is right. I should be with Hannah because I want to, not out of spite for my wife's infidelity. Additionally, I'm risking my job and future messing around with Hannah, as I'm sure we would be fired if they found out. Not to mention the public sex being extremely risking and stupid. I agree, but neither of us wanted to pay for a room. I broke up with Hannah because I realized, kinda already knew, that what we had going is a rebound. While my marriage is over, I'm still hurting a lot. I'm not going to lie, it dulls the pain of being cheated on when you have someone else. I told Hannah that while now is not a good time, maybe in the future we can try again. To be honest, I'm not so sure. I didn't lie about my feelings to her, but the more I think about it, the more I just want a fresh start in life. That includes moving on from Hannah. I just feel deep down that our relationship starting as it did is not great and probably toxic. For some context of my life and what I do, I work midnights at a dead-end factory job. I'm replaceable as fuck and it makes me feel worthless. I'm pretty miserable here, and through the years I've tried for a better position, but I keep getting passed up. Even though I definitely have the credentials and knowledge to back me up, I still get nowhere. So I'm done. Done trying. I want to escape. All I wanted in life was a good job, a loyal wife, a big house, and maybe a few kids one day. But it's just not in the works for me, at least not now. I want to restart. New life completely. New job, new home, new style, new everything. I love the mountains and feeling the mountain air hit my skin brings me joy. I think that's where I want to go. Maybe own something small that I can call mine. Colorado and Montana are beautiful and are at the top of my list to move to, so that might be what I do. I do know yet. I'm from the Midwest, so it's not super far away but would give me good distance from my old life. The only problem is that I need a new job. I would ideally want something remote that pays decent enough, but I'm not so sure I can pull a job like that. Maybe going back to school would help, but I don't know if I have the time or patience to wait on a degree. As for my wife, I haven't confronted her yet. I don't know how to. Neither have I told her about Hannah, which I don't think I will. As good as it would feel to dish the pain she caused me right back, it would help me going forward, and the future is all I'm really looking at. Moving on is healthier. Last week I finally made the decision to contact a lawyer and start the process of divorce. I don't know why I waited so long. After leaving Hannah, I thought briefly that maybe I could fix my marriage, but I talked to my father and told him everything. He himself had been cheated on by my mother years ago and it broke him. He pretty much gave me the same advice as I've been hearing. Leave Hannah alone and take care of this divorce. I told him to not say anything, which I trust. He always has my back. He loves me, and it really shook me when he started to cry during our talk. I realized I need to get my shit together. Thanks for the advice and scolding some of you gave me. While I feel like shit, I think I needed it. Some of you wanted an epic story of revenge, but I don't want that drama. Maybe I did it first, but it was out of anger. Like I said, now I just want to move on. At the end of the day, it's my life and this is just another post to you.
OP, I'm glad that you're thinking with your brain instead of your dick. Look man, you should have started the divorce process the very moment that you have found out about the affair, while she was still heavily in the affair fog. Sure, she may have cheated first, but you also cheated out of spite when you could have just started the divorce process. OP, you're just as much of an asshole your wife is. Look man, obviously a new start in life will be the best for you. And as for your affair partner, Hannah, well, any woman that is willing to have a sexual relationship with a married man is a hoe. She belongs to the streets. If you ended up with her, she will just cheat on you like your wife is doing right now. OP, do not pursue a relationship until you go to therapy. Good luck to you. And now for today's second story. My fiance cheated on me with the worst kind of girl. Posted by Reddit user Equivalent Way.
I and my fiancé met in Vancouver. I was a successful voice actress and he was a soon-to-be lawyer. When we first met there was an instant connection and we decided to keep dating. As the days went by I moved in. This was my first time moving with someone in their home. I was a bit scared as I have never depended so much on a man before. It took me several years to get over my exes or even go on trips with them as I have had traumatic experiences, such as them abandoning me in random places. A couple months after I worked long hours 8-plus-hour shifts, we decided Vancouver wasn't the place for us as everything was expensive and he was fired from work, so I had to support us with whatever I was making. Long story short, I was having many meltdowns because I was being harassed in my job, as well as my pay became less and less because there were more competitive girls, and I wasn't feeling or doing my best. I was having arguments with my fiancé. I would come home and clean the house. He would cook and I would do the laundry and try to keep our home neat. We talked about moving to Mexico where I am from, as cost of living was cheaper and I had bought my own place. We had many trips between Canada and Mexico, as well as he had invited me to meet his sister and his mom to England. They were both very welcoming and loving. We had arguments here and there, but nothing too harsh or significant in my opinion. We traveled to Italy for my birthday in February. Everything was fine. We come back to sell our stuff in Vancouver, sofa, kitchen stuff, the bed, everything, and the arguments kept going as I didn't want to go back to my job. He knew I was being harassed. When we got ready to come down to Mexico, a couple days passed. I checked his phone and he had invited a girl over to have sex. He sent her pictures and tried to convince her to come through. I was feeling enraged. I woke him up immediately and slapped him across the face. I was furious. My AirPods were missing that day and my Pandora ring as well. I called her and asked her to send me the full conversation. He had swore he never saw her and holds it to this day. When she texted me, both him and her were making fun of my appearance, saying that I'm not pretty and that I'm boring and bitter. They made comments about my body. During this time as well we were trying to conceive. I spoke to his mom and I told her I didn't want him in Mexico anymore and I didn't want to be with him as I was very heartbroken. His mom and my parents convinced me to stay, but I'm having so many doubts. He's tried to reassure me he will never do anything like that anymore, but I'm honestly having such a hard time. I'd feel unable to forgive him. I don't know what I should do. He wants to propose in July, but I don't feel like this is the man for me. Want suggestions to move on from this? Update: me and my ex had been together for 10 months. On my previous post I was trying to figure out a way to forgive and move on from my ex's infidelity with a random flower shop girl. Well, things couldn't have gone worse. I confronted him this morning about the fact that I'm not able to move past this, that I truly deserve someone better, more loving, caring, who won't speak bad about me and who I know will never cheat. Although it's hard for me to believe that's true, there are men who don't cheat. These men just happen to truly love their women. He told me that my family and him had already discussed with me clean slate, and that her texts were obviously edited and fake. He showed me the Photoshop on them, and they do seem fake. However, the fact that he still invited her into our home and stole from me doesn't save anything. I told him that it was fine and I was interested in hearing him. I packed his bags and told him to leave my house. I told him, go call this girl, maybe she can buy you a ticket back to Canada. He begged and begged for forgiveness and to move past this, and I denied it obviously. Later today I realized notification on my phone that I had missed my period. So I took a pregnancy test and I'm pregnant. This is really hard on me because I have been trying to conceive since the beginning of this year and I have fertile problems. I'm in a lot of conflict. I'm happy yet I'm very sad. I feel deeply alone. My parents are very mad, but I told them I don't care. His mom and his sister understand my side. I told them about the stolen items. I do not know his whereabouts. I don't know what he's doing, but I just wanted to thank everyone in the comments for your supportive messages. You guys gave me the courage I couldn't find within myself to leave this person behind.
Okay, OP, you said that you are a successful voice actor, right? And for some reason, you are struggling financially. But despite that, you had been traveling a lot between Canada, Mexico, the UK, and Italy, while being in a relationship with a man without a job, while trying to be parents with the said loser. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm missing something here. Your story just doesn't add up. OP, this is complete fucking bullshit. You're lying to everybody. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.